the one thing that we all can be doing better, whether it's public or private sector, to better secure private and privileged information?
Absolutely. You know, I always hear about this shortage of qualified applicants for security jobs in the security space. And what that really tells me is that we're relying on the human for security. I see what's going forward, a greater push to automation and taking the human out of the picture. What I would like to see is we have too many qualified applicants for not enough jobs in the security space, because what that's really telling me is that I've taken it off the shoulders of the individual. I have no longer made, Bob or Billy responsible for finding an attacker or finding a breach of privileged information inside of my network. I've now placed it on something that I think is a lot more reliable, and that's mathematics and machine learning and automation. So that I only need Billy and Bob to kind of tweak and be working within the space of the automation and use this intuition to chase things that are actually valuable, as opposed to taking the entire responsibility and putting it on their shoulders, because in my mind that's just not fair. And so to really kind of enhance security of whether it's public or private privileged information, and to stop these kinds of security breaches, you got to take the human out of it, and that's the security analyst needs to be removed from trying to make decisions about such large amounts of data, because humans just can't process at those speeds.
In your talk, you just spoke about the DNC hack. What do you think fundamentally needs to change to prevent an attack like that from happening again?
From a technical level, it's everything that I discussed in the presentation. Understanding that identity ecosystem, making sure that you have a grip on what accounts are doing inside of your network at every level, whether it's your cloud accounts or your network accounts in and of itself. But at a more macro scale, it's really taking a look at everyone's role. So if you look at the DNC breach, and that was everyone's responsibility. It wasn't the DNC's responsibility, it was the DNC's responsibility, yes. It was the government's responsibility, the FBI's, the US military, and the intelligence community. It was everyone's shared responsibility to make sure that our electoral process goes without any intervention or influence. And in the beginning, I think eventually now you're seeing that, where intelligence agencies have gotten involved. But in the beginning, it rested on a single nonprofits organization that what their business is doing is helping their candidates get into elected official positions. Like, they can't be expected to fight the Russian SVR and the Russian GRU. That's not fair. That's the government's responsibility, and I would say they actually have a Title 10 and Title 50 legal responsibility to take that action. But they didn't do that in the beginning. I think now things are catching up. And so how could we prevent something like that from receiving so much blowback and having so much success? Is it should have been, when it was first going on, it should have been everybody is putting their chips on the table, everybody is taking a vested interest in success, instead of only taking a vested interest in success when it's too late, when it's later on down the line and it's too late and you can't do those things retroactively. And so at a macro level, it takes government, it takes intelligence, military, and the organization to take a vested responsibility in their security, and for the government to take an active role in things like, specifically talking DNC here, where it is the US electoral process that's at stake. They have a role in that, and they should assert themselves in that role.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.